Thank you, President Cowan, Mrs. President Cowan, distinguished guests, undistinguished guests, you know who you are, honored faculty and creepy Spanish teacher. And thank you all to the graduating class of 2009. Now, I realize most of you are hungover, have splitting headaches, and haven't slept since Fat Tuesday, but you can't graduate till I finish, so listen up. Now, when I was first asked to make the commencement speech, I immediately said yes. Then I had to go home and look up what commencement meant, which would have been easy if I had a dictionary, but all the books in our house are Portias, and they're all written in Australian, so I had to break the word down myself to figure out the meaning. Commencement. Common and cement. Common cement. You commonly see cement on sidewalks. Sidewalks have cracks. Step on a crack, break your mother's back. So there's that. But I am honored that you've asked me to speak at your common cement. I thought you had to be famous aluminum, alumnus, alum. You had to graduate from this school? And I didn't go to college here. Actually, I don't know if President Cowan knows this, but I didn't go to college. At all. And I'm not saying you all wasted your time, but look at me, I'm a huge celebrity. Although I did go to the College of Hard Knocks. Yeah, our mascot was the Knockers. I spent a lot of time here growing up. Actually, my mom worked at Newcom, and I would go there every time I needed to steal something out of her purse. But why am I here today? Clearly not to steal from you. You are too far away, and I would never get away with it. I'm here because of you. Because I can't think of a more tenacious, outrageous graduating class. I mean, look at you, wearing your robes. You know, usually when you're wearing a robe at 10 o'clock in the morning, it means giving up. I'm here because I love New Orleans. I was born and raised here. I spent my formative years here. And like you, when I lived here, I only did laundry 6 times. Now, when I finished school, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And when I mean school, I mean middle school, but I went on with high school anyway. But I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just figured I'd get a regular job, you know, that would pay me enough money to pay my rent, maybe have basic cable, maybe not. My point is that when I was your age, I thought I knew who I was, but I really didn't. For example, when I was your age, I was dating men. So what I'm saying is that when you're older, most of you will be gay. Anybody writing this down? Anyway, I did not know where my life was going, and the way I actually got on this path was from a very tragic event. I was maybe 19, and my girlfriend at the time was killed in a car accident. And I drove by the accident, and I didn't know it was her, and I kept going. And at the time, I was living in a basement apartment. I had no heat. I had no air. My mattress was on the floor, and the place was infested with fleas. And I was soul-searching. I was like, why is she suddenly not here? I don't understand. There must be some purpose. And wouldn't it be so easy if we could just call God and ask him these questions? And so I started writing. And what poured out of me was this imaginary phone conversation with God, which was one-sided. And when I finished, I looked at it and I said, you know what? I'm going to perform this on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson. At the time, he was the king. And I am going to be the first woman to be called over to sit down. 10 years later, I was the first woman and the only woman in the history of that show to be called over to sit down. All because of that imaginary phone conversation with God. So I started this great career of stand-up, and it was fun and it was exciting, but it was hard because I had this secret that I was keeping, that I was gay, and I was afraid if people found out, they wouldn't like me anymore. And then I got my own sitcom, and that was great. It was another level of success, but it was still so hard for me. I kept thinking, what if they find out I'm gay, they won't watch the show anymore? But this was a really long time ago. I mean, this was back when we only had white presidents. I mean, so But I figured I was just living with so much pain and so much sorrow that I had to come out in order to free myself. So I figured, okay, I'm going to come out, and my character on the TV show will come out at the same time. It'll be great. What's the problem? What's the worst that could happen? I could lose my career. I did. I lost my career. The phone didn't ring for 3 years. I had no offers. No one wanted to touch me at all. And yet I was still getting letters from kids who almost committed suicide, but didn't because of what I did. And it was a hard time. I was angry and I was sad. And then I was offered a talk show. And the people who offered me the talk show were sort of reluctant because they thought no one would watch me. You know, now that I look back on it, I would not change a thing. I mean, it was so important for me to lose everything because it taught me what's most important. It has to be true to yourself. So, in conclusion, when I was younger, I thought, when I grow up, I want to be famous. I want to be a star. I want to be in movies. When I grow up, I want to see the world, drive nice cars. I want to have groupies, to quote the Pussycat Dolls. By the way, how many people thought that was boobies? It's not. It's groupies. Anyways, you'll notice that as you get older, your idea of success will change. For example, right now, your idea of success may be to hold down 20 shots of tequila. For me, it's to be an honest and compassionate person. So, to conclude my conclusion, don't follow anyone else's path. Unless you're in the woods and you're lost, then by all means, please go follow that path. Don't give advice. And don't take advice. So my advice to you is to stay yourself and you'll be just fine. And I know a lot of you are worried about the future, but don't be. The world is healthy. The economy is booming. The job market is wide open. It'll be great. And you've already survived a hurricane. What's the worst that can happen now? And you know what kind of questions to ask on your first job interview. Like, is it above sea level? So to conclude my conclusion, which I have already previously concluded in my Commencement speech, I guess what I'm trying to say is that life is like one big Mardi Gras. But instead of showing people your boobs, show them your brain. And soon you'll have so many beads you won't know what to do with them. And you'll be drunk most of the time. So, Katrina class of 2009, I say congratulations. And if there's one thing that you should remember from this speech, you're going to be okay. Bum-dee-dum-dum-dum. Just